Yes, indeed.
Um, well, I think I mentioned last week that I've been playing Prague at, in the Prussia's Glory system.
Right.
Right.
And so it's a very different scale. And I got to confess that I, only as I've been playing it have I kind of relearned my appreciation for it. It's got a lot of the things that are going on here. Cavalry units are pretty much always disordered after combat. So that makes sense, right? So you have to use them in kind of a way like you would in bar. Like you have to realize that somebody better be able to cover for them while they're getting their act back together, because
Right.
otherwise they're vulnerable. Um, so I think the Austrian army at my battle has just gone demoralized. So I think the game's over. So I'm going to reset and try it again because I realized I made some really suboptimal moves. But um, I think what I also realized is that, boy, if you make a mistake, it can be hard to recover from it. And I think I gave some suboptimal decisions to the Austrians, and the Prussians were able to really hurt them. Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of that here too, right? How do you
Right.
recover from, oops, that was a mistake? Don't know.
Yeah. Actually, looking at, I've got an officer that should be flipped over
Oh,
here. That cavalry wing commander down there, he also moved with
Oh,
that.
yeah.
So,
Luchet.
Lucchese?
Lucchese.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
All
that
right.
makes sense. All right. And if memory serves, we haven't moved anything down the end turn.
That's correct.
Nope.
So I'm sure,
And
I'm sure that will be rectified here in no
I
time at
know,
all.
but I love that part about this, that you just don't have any idea what the tempo of a given turn is going to be. The turns aren't really 20 minutes long.
Data
The
analysis
turns are
shows too many
anything
variables.
from 10 to 30 minutes long, really.
Right.
You just don't know. I love them. All right. All right. Well, shall I?
Yes,
Sure.
you.
Why
It
the heck
is. It is yours. Ho!
not? Boom!
Right off the bat, we've got
We
some
didn't
sort of
waste any time. We wanted to get that
Prussian
special result out the
special
door.
result. So a 6-0. Pick one command for fire combat or close combat segment.
Ooh. All right. Who needs to get dead? That's really my question here.
Well, let's see. Do we have any? We don't have any guns unlimbered.
No, probably not. We've probably got my commands up north that are in a position to be able to. Ooh, you know what? We should read because it matters which game we're playing. Um, because I noticed, for example, in Fontenoy, this particular battle doesn't really let you move. But in other versions of the game, and maybe this one, don't know, infantry units can actually advance a hex to charge or to do close combat. You
Hmm.
don't already have to be. Let's see what it says. Where is it? Free combat. Pick one command to any independent unit stacked with the leader or unit of the command for either fire combat, close combat. Doesn't say. All right, so I wonder which one I'm thinking of. Must be Malvitz or Chatuzitz or something. So it needs to be somebody who's in a position at the moment to do close combat
Or
or
fire combat.
fire combat, right? Well, clearly, Kleist uh, could do some fire combat action. He's got some guys that are in infantry fire range. You are quite right. We don't really have anybody who's got unlimbered artillery, so there's not much we can do there. Close combat, of course, includes charge combat. So if you've got anybody who's in charge range and you don't, well, you don't, I'm sorry, you don't amongst Zeaton's guys down south.
Correct.
You might have further north.
But they would just have to go charging straight ahead kind of a thing, and they'd have to be part of a particular command, right?
Well, no, they would have to be part of a particular command. They'd have to be within reach, within command range of whichever commander that you select.
Right.
And obviously, they can't do anything except the combat phase, which means just charge movement. And then close combat directly related to that. So it would have to be somebody who's already in charge range of the enemy and within reach of his own commander.
Right.
Looks like you've got maybe some of the guys from Whiskey Romeo, whoever the heck that is, Württemberg, I guess. Looks like.
Yeah, but they're all disordered. I mean, can they attack if they're disordered?
Well, I'm looking at that guy.
Oh.
That guy, both of which are in charge range of this guy.
Okay.
As an example, they're not disordered. They could certainly do something if they're within reach of Württemberg. I'm not sure exactly where he is.
Let's see. Württemberg is, I think he's over here. No, that's Solnich. There's Württemberg right there.
No, he's right there. So 1, 2, 3,
1, 2,
4.
3,
I mean,
4,
he's
5. He's within.
range,
He's
he?
5.
5. So there's that's 2 units that could almost certainly do it. And the fact that they've already gone doesn't matter. If units involved have not yet been activated, they are still not considered so. Event can only be applied once per turn per commander unit. Okay. So certainly those guys charging, that is an option. Whether it even makes sense, I don't know, because you really only got 1 hex that you can really charge into.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be limited, but useful. Obviously, Kleist doing some shooting, or Kleist doing close combat, actually. Right here. Maybe makes some sense. I mean, what have I got? I've got 7, 8, 9, 10 increments. The defenders have got 8 increments. Not really super odds. So maybe just do some shooting and soften them up first. Don't really know.
Yeah. Well, why don't you go ahead and take it for your chap? Because
you're not feeling it, are you? Is that what you're trying to say?
Not really.
That's all right.
I'm going to hold on to my powder here a little bit.
Keep your powder dry. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, then let's see. Then I will go ahead and do Kleist. Kleist includes this and this, who will both be firing. I will go ahead and fire with this one first. There's 4 increments available. 4 increments. I think it's times 4, so it should be 16 to 10. So it's 1.5 to 1. I think 8 is actually plus 10 from a size multiplier. So it'll be 1.5 to 1 plus 10.
That's going to be a 93. Yep.
No morale check, but a hit.
Die Mainz Fusiliers.
And the Mainz Fusiliers, that's right. And then this one here, of course, is 4 increments. They're only going to be times 2. So it's going to be 8. So it's going to be 1 to 1.5. It's still 8 defenders, so it's going to be plus 10. So 1 to 1.5 plus 10. Uh-oh.
So that's a special infantry fire 04.
Infantry
Oh, it says
fire.
double the fire strength and re-roll. That's a nice one.
Battalion. Wait a minute. Oh, Prussian. You're right. Yep. Double the fire strength and re-roll. And it would be a leader check if the... Oh, there is a leader there. Right?
Yep, there's Veed is there. Or Vide.
Okay. All right. So we need to do the leader loss table. So that is a 1d10. And it's really weird the way the leader loss table works, because the 1d10 just tells you what row to then roll another 1d10 on. David, would you care to do the rolling? You're a leader.
No, I do not care to.
All right. Well, then I care to do it.
I
Care
will
to do
roll.
it.
A
Okay.
2.
Dose.
Randomly
The
pick
l-
any leader in range.
The lucky shot. Randomly pick any leader in range and LOS of firing units. I'm sure that is the only leader. Because obviously,
Yeah,
this
the other
was only
guy's in
2x
range. Yeah.
So there's nobody else that he could hit. And then we'll roll 1d10 again. David is looking for high numbers. And that is not a high number.
2.
The lucky shot kills
Kills Mr. Veed.
Vide.
Vide. He's now pushing up weeds.
Oh,
Vide is
well
pushing
done,
up
sir.
veeds.
Well done. Okay. And if I double the strength of these guys, it's 16, so it's 1.5 to 1 for these guys as well. So 1.5 to 1 plus 10 because of the size of the target. Plus
Be an
10.
80.
Plus 10, that's going to be exactly enough for one hit. Very efficient rolling on my part.
Now, is that a morale check? Because it was an even
It is
roll?
also a morale check because it's an even number. Yeah.
And does the leader affect that?
No, the leader doesn't
died?
because he's gone.
Well, I meant negatively.
Oh no, actually, I don't think there is a negative result. There's just no positive result.
Morale check.
But you're right. I think there's a Labatai system where that's
Yeah.
problematic.
Yeah.
Yep.
In Labatai, if the guy gets wounded or killed, you got to make a morale check and see whether anybody notices.
Right. Right. Wow, those guys are good. Were they 21s?
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, I thought with that 31 die roll that there was a chance, but no, I guess there isn't.
All right. So how are we going to handle this, the leader now?
So the way this works is, first of all, he is dead.
Right.
So there's going to be an impact to army morale next time we do army morale check based on whatever his value is. The other thing is that when he is next activated, which of course in this case will be next turn because he's already been activated for this turn,
Right.
then you will put a replacement leader on any of his units at that point, at the time that the formation is activated. Now, the question is how does this vassal module handle it? I see that there's a
yeah.
replacement leaders
A and B.
thing. I don't really understand how am I supposed to do anything with it, though. I'm going to grab an A. No, that doesn't appear to do anything.
You probably go to the units and supposed to stack them in there, and then you just pick one off, and it maybe it randomizes it.
I don't know.
Are there? Let's look under markers. Is there something there?
Yeah, there's a generic leader replacements
Where's that?
category
Yep, under markers. Yep,
under,
and
yeah,
there's the A's and there's the B. So I think you take each one of the
you just take one or the other, I guess, right?
you take yeah you take each one of the A's and you stack them in here,
Oh, you put them in the little box. Oh, okay.
Weird.
and then it'll randomize it when we pull one out.
I'm not even sure where are you getting those from?
So
I,
over in where it's got the
the
all of the
markers.
unit markers, game markers,
Yeah,
there's something
like
that says,
the, there's one that says Prussian units, another says Austrian units. Is that where you are?
Markers.
Markers.
yeah. So go
The
to,
one to the
Oh, yeah,
to the left.
markers, and then you go to
and it's got a whole bunch of
gene-
them. Generic
there's
A, generic
generic
B.
lead. Okay, well, so it's kind of frustrating because there's also, if you clicked on, say, Austrian units, there's all the replacement leaders with names, but there's really no way to.
So it implemented both ways to do
In,
replacement leaders. It looks
interesting, but
like.
there's no way to. Oh, I see. So you're saying that if you pile these on there, that you
Yeah.
believe that you're
So
going to get them out randomly.
right, if I pull like I can pull the first one off the top, and okay, that one's a +4. I'm going to stick them back on, and I'll pull another one off. Oh, that's a different one.
I
So
see.
he
So if you
ran.
want to use the named ones, you can, or you can use the generic ones. And either way, it's going to randomize, but you have to pile them on there to make it happen.
Right. Now,
Right.
Interesting.
so you say under the Austrian ones, there are the named leaders,
Yeah,
replacement.
yeah. If you just under Austrian units go all the way to the right,
Where it says replacement units.
yeah, and then there's like 8 or 9
Oh,
or 10
are these
maybe.
are these then
These are the
actual? Oh, okay. So these are
these are the
just.
replacement leaders that you would have gotten in the counter set for the game.
Oh, cool.
And the idea behind that is it's it's a little easier because the generic replacement counters are intended that you kind of use them as additive to whatever the previous leader's functions were.
Right.
Whereas these are just like completely separate, just start over. This is what this leader is good for. And he may be better, he may be worse. You don't really know.
Which
Right.
one do we want to use?
I don't know. I don't really care. It's your leader. Do whatever one, whichever one
So
you like.
now,
What do you
do
think?
you these replacement ones again? Do you do just pull one randomly?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right, they sound a little easier for us to maybe use.
They seem a little easier. So what are you dragging them all into place?
I was just trying to see if they randomized these guys as well.
Well, those certainly look like they're coming out differently one to the
Oh, yeah,
next.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so it's if we use the ones with the little uniforms, and we dump them over here, it's going to randomize them as well. Cool.
I think it's neat. It also means you only need one counter. You don't need two. You don't need
Yeah.
the legacy counter and the replacement counter, and then it's just I don't know. It just seems simpler.
And the other one's in the graveyard, so he's easier to keep track of. So
Right. Exactly. I think
Right.
that's probably my primary preference there.
all right, so we'll
So
let
So you're
me
just going to
just
go
stack
down the
each.
line and grab
Yep.
each one off
Yep,
the
I'll stack.
top there. That's kind of cool. Yeah, and they look neater. I think there's one less counter to try to be
plus many
lassoing.
of them are people like our good friend Paul Borchers, people who were playtesters whose names seemed plausible. Did you not know that?
I did not know
Um,
that. That's
in my
hilarious.
Fontenoy game, I happened to draw him as replacement leader for one of the Hanoverian leaders who got whacked assaulting Fontenoy.
Right.
So
And
you got
his
exposure?
yes, I got Borchers actually was the guy who finished the attack and seized the town. And of
Wow.
course, I put it on Concept World because come on, right? You
Of
gotta
course.
you gotta share a moment like that. So I did, and it was funny. And so yeah, that's just kind of fun. I don't know where these names came from. I don't know if any of them are real people that contributed in any way to the game, but they're fun names.
That's
More
cute.
interesting.
That's cute. All right. Well, it's time for
So,
us to
like
go
I
back
said,
to the.
you can ignore that until it's time for that formation to activate next turn
Right. And then we just draw one and he
and
goes.
apply them to whichever hex that you've got a unit for that command.
Yep. Okay.
All right. So I guess Eric, then it is your dialogue.
No, that was
No, that was a special. You
Oh,
start off with a
So you're
special
still
boom.
rolling.
we
Yeah.
didn't even manage to get out of a first activation.
Yeah.
Okay, good
All right.
times.
So
All
this
right.
is the Prussians.
That's the Prussians. It might even be a wing. Is six
I
enough
believe
for us?
that is. Yeah,
I
I
think
believe
it
it is.
is. Yeah. I don't know if we need to do a wing, but we could.
Well,
Um,
I could.
Last
you.
turn you were waiting for a wing for
I was good. I was
Zeton down there.
gonna say maybe
Or
you
not
were.
Zeton,
So
Yeah,
whoever
we
that.
could try that. We
well,
could.
don't don't let me stand in the way,
Yeah, I will try not to let you stand in the way.
please.
So I could then activate our dear friend. Who is this? Zethan? Yes, Zethan. So,
The really weird part is I'm reading a book where they spell it differently with a
right.
th, which makes it even more confusing.
All right. Okay, so I guess I can roll for them. Or I don't know that it matters, but I'll roll for him to see if he's activated. He is. Um, so let's see here. We've got a whole bunch of stuff here.
Yeah, I mean that was actually an important role because he's nowhere near Frederick, right? So he has to put himself in command to make the wing activation happen. So that
Oh,
one
okay.
absolutely mattered.
Oh,
Yep.
it did. Oh, okay. I
Oh
thought with
yeah,
okay. Otherwise, it would have just been
it
a brigade
I,
activation.
actually it would have been worse than that because what you effectively did is you told him a wing leader to activate, and if he's not able to trace command and not able to put himself in command, you've just wasted the entire activation. You go back to roll for initiative
Oh, wow. Okay.
because he's not even a command leader. He can't even put a command in into action because he's
Okay.
not in charge of it.
Okay. Interesting. I did not realize that.
Yeah, that was an important role.
Okay. Well, I'm glad I didn't blow it.
Yeah,
So,
good on you.
all right. So now I got to try to get everybody lined up here for the charge of the century. So we've got a relatively narrow frontage here. So we have to try to do maybe two sets of stuff here. Got some heavies. You've got a few heavies. All right. So these guys can come over here. All right. So one of these is going to go 1, 2, 3, and then the other guy is going to come up over here. They can be back here, right? That'll work. All right, and stretched low. All right. Maybe what I'll do is this. Yeah. Okay. command point of view, that's a little bit more tidy. All right, so stretch shao can go there. And then these guys, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, those two are occupied. 1, 2, 4. All right, this guy's going to come down here. All right, it's going to be a big mess. Okay, all right, so I think we got everybody set. So these guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, I
7,
was looking
8,
in my
9.
book here, Michael, on Frederick the Great, and they have it as Zieten also.
Okay, all right, so
Yeah, I thought TH was weird. I'd never seen it TH before.
All right.
all right, I think I'm ready to pull the trigger on a whole bunch of charges.
I think you're mixing metaphors. You don't pull triggers on charges, do you?
Unless you're the Lone Ranger,
Oh,
in which case then that's all you're doing is pulling trigger, right?
wow, that's complicated. But okay,
That
yeah,
is,
sure, whatever
that
you say,
is.
boss.
Well, I can
All right.
I can put on the William Tell Overture if
Would
that
you?
is going to inspire people.
That would
So-
inspire me for something, yeah.
Okay. All right. So I've got do I mark these guys first or I say who's going to try to do it? What's
So
the
you have to-
what's the
yeah,
procedure?
well, you got to roll for each one, whether they're going to charge or not.
Okay. So
Right. So is your concern that you're going to mark some and not mark some as going?
so my question is how do I say I'm going to mark this guy and then I roll for him, or do I mark them all and then I roll for them?
Yeah. I guess strictly speaking, what would make sense is that you put a marker on every one of them, and then you either they pass, in which case you could take the marker off, or leave it on. But if
Right.
they fail, you're going to put a shaken marker on them, and then it'll be obvious by the time you've gotten through all of them who's still going. Because
Okay.
they still got the marker on them. So,
Right,
I
so-
mean, if you want to, yeah, put the marker on.
Okay, that's what I wanted to figure out. So
Yeah.
where would I find that? Unit markers, maybe? Charge? No. Close combat. That's it. Okay, so let me clone about 5 million of those. Okay. All right.
5 million. 5 million, that's good.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I love this. Now that Eric's got a cavalry charge to do, he's
7,
totally like he's lost all of his
8.
concern and his hesitancy. It's like I get to charge now.
There we go. Well, what else? It's only electronic cardboard that's going to suffer.
Only electrons die today.
Yeah. All right.
So, just so I'm clear, there's that one marker. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Thank you. So you got 2 stacks you're not going in.
Yep. These two
Okay.
are
All good.
hanging
you
back.
gotta keep it fresh.
Yeah. Well, at least somebody to plug the holes or to do something
Yep.
clever.
Yep.
So
And if you're not kidding yourself, you know there will be. So
Yeah. All right. So let's start at the top and work our way down. So we'll start with this chap here. And let's see what we get. 27. Survey says
not a great roll, but it's probably enough.
he's a 23. So
Yeah, because
he's going to go
I
in.
mean, the truth is none of these guys are going to have any negatives, and quite a lot of them are going to. Excuse me, none of them have any positives
Right.
because positives are bad. Many of them are going to have negatives because they're in line and they got people on both sides of them.
Right.
So that
All right, this
27.
this chap
All
here.
right. Yep.
Uh-oh, what's a
That
0, 0?
one's probably shaken and disordered, if I had to guess.
Is there a special thing somewhere for that?
Yeah, it's morale check B.
Morale check B. 0, 0.
Pre-close
Unit
combat
is shaken and disordered. Okay,
Right,
well,
so definitely not going in.
he is not going in indeed. So
The Union
let's go
steward apparently came and talked to them,
ahead.
and told them they didn't want
All
to do
right.
this.
Well, I hear I was all excited. All right, this chap here then. Let's roll for him. 24.
Boy, you're making this a little more exciting than you should.
He's at
What?
23.
Okay, all right. The next several, well, several of the next several probably have a -10 plus
Okay.
whatever leaders are on them. So,
Yep, so the next chap on 11.
oh my God, I hope that leader's good.
Well, we'll find out real soon.
You can pick. It looks like you got 2 leaders there. One
No,
of
there's
them's-
just one. So there's a
Oh, no, I'm
the
sorry,
unit
there's
on
2
top's a
units.
21. So if I add a plus 15, they pass.
Yeah, -15.
Okay.
Because it's -5 for the leader, -10 for being.
I'm just used to aing things to the die roll, so
Okay.
that's a Lobatai-ish thing there.
But surprisingly, an 11 passes. Yes.
Yep. Okay. Next one over here.
Yep.
39. I'm pretty sure that's going to be a good one. Next one over here. Oof.
What is your dang deal?
I don't know.
And he's got no leader, and he's on the end of the line. So 12 is going to fail. He's going to be shaken.
Yep. That's a bummer. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
best laid plans of mice and
It's
men.
some fascinating die rolling you're doing. I'll say that.
Well, we're just going to blame the vassal module.
Okay. That's legit.
Yeah.
And you won't be the last guy to do
It's
that.
not me. It's not me.
No,
It's the vassal module.
Clearly.
Or
That one's just shaken.
oh, he's
Just
just
shaken.
shaken. Oh, okay.
Yep. Yeah. The other one was shaken and disordered, which is an unusual but ugly result from special result. You don't actually this isn't probably obvious to you, but you don't actually need to mark the unit underneath because the unit on top carries the mark for the whole stack.
Yeah, I don't know it when I hit the add
probably
the
just had
marker
both
to
of
it.
them
It just did
selected at
both.
the time.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
we've got this one here. Let's go ahead and roll for them. Well, they're very motivated. Next chap here,
Glad somebody
Very
finally
good.
is.
and this chap here. Okay. All right. So not everybody, but what the heck?
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Well, you just have to roll with it, baby.
That's
Okay.
a fact.
So let's go ahead and do these in any particular order.
Yeah, yeah, the order there probably mostly just matters in terms of who you're trying to draw out in terms of counter charges or whatever.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that.
Oh, sorry. I'm not sure how much it matters here because you've got so many enemy units
Yeah.
that he's
All
got
right.
lots of
We'll
options.
just go down here. So this chap, there's 1, 2, and I guess what when we enter the second hex, then they can roll
It's when you
3.
right now he can react.
Okay.
Actually, 2 of them can react if they want.
Yeah. So the positive are there'd be a 2 difference in the die roll. My negative is that I've got about a 30% chance of being shaken, right?
Oh, because they're not. The Hussars aren't very good.
Yeah, they're not very good.
Oh dear. Yeah.
So I will just stand and take the charge.
Okay. All right.
Interesting. All right.
So I guess then we'll hit this chap here,
Okay.
right? And do I designate it at this point?
Well,
You don't need to.
Oh,
Because based upon counter charges and further charges, I mean, there's all kinds of things that could cause it not to be. I mean, you're right. In this case, we know perfectly well that's the only guy he's going to attack this
right.
turn.
Yeah.
But by the book, all the charge movement happens. And only once all the charges and counter charges have been fully resolved in terms of the movement, then you have to
Declare stuff.
establish who's attacking who.
Okay. So next step.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Again, he's got two who
Mm-hmm.
could countercharge if they want.
Oh yeah, you're right. These guys are not very brilliant, are they, David?
No, compared to yours, mine are crap.
Just like your leaders. How about
You,
that?
you can beat that from your
Yeah,
uh, I,
bleep that. Yeah, if that requires bleeping, we got trouble.
I think we're
Gonna
okay
go-
on YouTube.
again,
I'm
I
gonna-
will stand.
Okay. All right. Then I'll just push
Both of
that guy forward.
I'm gonna go double check and make sure the chickens put themselves to bed. I'll be right back.
Okay. So the next one. 1, 2, 3. This guy's moving forward 4.
No, I had a chance, but I would still do the same there.
Okay. All right. Next chap. 1, 2. You want to try to intercept him? You've got Haddock there for what little he's worth. Oh my God, those guys are even worse. 36.
Uh, I'll, both of those will stand also.
Okay. All right. We'll park those guys there too. All right. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3.
Well, wait a minute. Yeah, standing.
Okay. There we go. All right. Then this chap here is going to go 1, 2, and you could try to intercept him with what? This guy, I guess, right?
Yes, I could. Yes, I will try on that.
Okay.
And boom. Okay.
So then you would move forward 1. All right. And so then now we have to do combat, right?
And now we're up to. Now you designate.
Okay.
You've got to end up
Right.
attacking all the things you're in contact with.
Yeah. So this one is obvious, right? Because that's the only target I could have.
Yep.
All right. And then we'll just go this. And whoops. This. 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 And that. Right? And so therefore I've got everybody engaged. Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. So now it's time for you to. So this guy's passed his roll, but everybody else has got to roll to either stand or to. Do they disorder or do they are they shaken if they fail?
I don't remember.
All right. Well, let's take a look in one of the handy dandy roll for something or other. So this has got to be a morale check. Pre-close combat. Attackers, then defenders check. So it's morale check B. So pass, no effect, close combat continues. Fail, attacker is shaken. Defender fails, receives a shaken marker. Okay. All right, so that would take care of it. I don't see any modifiers. Let's see. Supported line or hook -10. So those guys that are in line, with the exception of the guy that's at the far end, um, will have a -10 on theirs. So do we
Yep.
do it one at a time then, I guess?
Yeah, I think we do each combat one at a time.
Okay, so let's start with the one down here, because I guess if they fail, then that could cause
So
the next guy to have a morale issue, right?
is that Michael back? Yeah. Do I do all my defender pre-morale checks now?
Or do
No.
we do it
Okay,
when
just
the combat is called for, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
you do them. I'm back, by the way.
Yep.
Um, yeah, after all the combat, after all the charge movement, counter charge movement, everything is resolved, then individual combat designations happen, and that's up to the attacker to decide
Okay.
exactly who's attacking who in what order, and then you do defender morale checks and so on.
Okay. All right.
So
So I will go ahead and have this guy do the attack first.
Okay. Yeah. So the defender needs to roll. That's good enough for his purposes.
Okay. All right. So then we look at the odds, and
Probably 1-to-1 on the baseline number.
okay. And
got-
these guys charge forward 3, so that's going to give them a +7.
Uh,
No.
yeah.
those guys actually did 4.
These ones here? Oh, yeah, you're right. They were
2,
further
3,
back.
4. Yeah, they did. You're right. Some
Okay.
of the ones further
Yeah.
north did. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's actually going to be +6. Wait a minute. They're light cavalry though.
Yep.
Versus other light cavalry, right?
No, but the point is that they're light cavalry. So they actually only get +1 for being light cavalry,
Okay.
and then +1 for each hex. So that's +5 to whatever their
Right.
printed value.
And their
is.
printed
So it's
value is
+9
4, so it's a
altogether.
+9, right? And he
defenders-
is a 2, so it's a
Which then-
+7.
No, I get a +1 also.
He gets a +1.
Oh, okay.
For being light cavalry. So
So then it's a +6. So the difference is 6.
yeah, 9 to 3 is going to be 6. So yeah, so it's going to be 1-to-1 +6.
Isn't he a 2 to
Well,
1?
no, it's not 1-to-1 because I've got 16 units or 16 things. So
My
it's
apologies.
yeah.
Yes, you're quite right. You
Okay.
do. So 2-to-1 +6.
2-to-1 with a
dear.
+6. Okay, here we go.
That's gonna be bad.
78. So that's
so
going to be a
that's 5.
+5.
Two to
2 to
one.
1. So I see a 1D and 2R. Is that
2R.
correct?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And we'll take a loss. Why did it add a loss to everybody? Oh, because they were both
I
highlighted.
just said them both selected, right?
Yeah.
And the loss has to go on the 8.
Yep. Ah, sorry. I hooked your guy up.
Just undo.
Yeah,
There we
undo is your friend. I wish most of life came with an undo.
Okay, and so then I'm disordered. Okay. All right.
Okay. So at least one of the 2 units must advance
Okay.
and must face in such a way as to chase down the defenders, which means you're kind of compelled to face west.
Okay. So let me see here. So I'm already facing west.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, my first retreat hex was that. So
Okay. All right. Is it advantageous to move them both in, or just one in? What's the usual?
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting question. They're both, of course, disordered. So
Right.
it's not like that really saves you anything. clearly, part of it may depend on whether you feel like chasing down the defender, in which case maybe you only put one of them in there and leave one back where he's still, you know, back a little bit.
Okay.
If one of them, yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's lots of ways you could imagine it. I don't know that putting both of them in there necessarily adds any value.
Okay. All right. But now for pursuit, could I select? So if I had two of them in there, and then we rolled for pursuit, would do they both go, or I could say I'm just sending one?
That's actually a really good question that I just occurred to me, and I've never thought to ask before.
Shocking.
Is do all the units who advance have to do the same thing, or can some of them roll to recall while others don't? And the fascinating part is I literally don't know. Number of pursuit points, leader stack can modify it. If any of the pursuit points, yeah, right. Cavalry's multi-line hex, right. Cavalry must be faced. When multiple stacks have retreated, yeah. Two types of movement. I wonder if the reason that it never occurred to me is because the rules don't talk about it. Pursuing stack may not split during pursuit or free movement.
Where is that at?
That is at the very bottom of the left column.
Okay.
On page 32,
Page 32.
A pursuing stack may not split during pursuit or free movement. So I'm going to say that your chance to split is who advances.
Okay. All right. Well, that's okay.
I would tend to agree with that. So.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's very clear. If I can't split during pursuit, yeah, then I'm doing it now. All right. So then only this one is rolling for pursuit, right? Because the other guy did not advance.
Yeah, the other one is definitely not. And of course, you're going to have and round whatever you roll because you're disordered.
Okay. So what do I roll? I just roll one die now?
1D.
Okay.
Yeah, 1D.
So 4, so that's going to be 2.
2 pursuit points. And, you can absolutely do the 2 and chew up 2 increments, and then obviously you'd be rolling at plus 15, I guess, because you were plus 5 for being disordered and plus 5 for each of the pursuit points you used, or you can just try to recall where you are.
Right.
At plus 5.
Okay.
Here's my sense of it. I bet that the Austrians are in a world of crap. Oh, do we have to bleep that?
Here, nope, you don't have to bleep it.
I'll say a world of shit, because I think that's what the world there is.
Okay.
In other words, I'm not that worried about one of your guys pursuing, because even if one of his second line turns to go deal with this guy, well, they can't deal with everybody.
Right.
And you're probably going to win most of these.
Right.
I guess.
Okay.
So, you could, if you're the sort of person, and I'm not, to go chasing down the enemy.
Oh, I'm totally. I am channeling. I'm channeling my inner Blucher here. So.
Your inner Monty.
Yeah. All right. So then I will pursue him 2. Now that means I have to move 2 hexes forward. Is that right?
Yeah, and you. One south and west, and the one north and west.
Actually,
so which way did you go?
This way.
This
That's
way.
The way you went.
How did you end up over here then?
I don't know.
Then I went here.
The truth is,
and then I went here, and then I went here, and then I went here.
Oh, okay.
The truth is that probably isn't a straight enough line. But the truth is, it also doesn't matter because none of it put you in a zone of control or put anybody in your zone of control. So ultimately, it doesn't matter.
Okay. All right. So now he's got to take 2 more hits. Is that right?
That's right. 2 more increment losses, and then
I have to make a roll. Okay.
That's right.
Now, so are you now on that? I remember in our Shatusits game, I had to retreat towards the entry part on the road at the back of the map. not just straight back to the map edge, which is why I was kind of,
I see.
that's why I kind of angled up.
Yeah.
A little bit.
And like, so you think you were like required to go here specifically? Is that what you're thinking, or?
I don't know where here was because I was
I'm
zoomed in.
blinking at the
Yeah,
nearest road to the west.
that's where I was thinking.
Yeah, I don't know that there's a specific requirement for
Well,
that.
I guess on the Chatuza one, it actually said that, didn't
It
it?
may very well have, and obviously that would apply. Um, in this case, I think you've kind of got a lot of latitude because my view is as long as you are going in as straight a line as you can according to the hex grid, which to me, obviously, I mean, because of where you ended up, I think it kind of meant you really should have stopped here. Because if you'd drawn a straight line from here to here, you were going to go through this hex, not that one. But whatever. The point is, in my mind, as long as every hex is farther away from the enemy and every hex is getting you closer to the friendly side of the map, to me that's good enough. And what you did certainly got you away from the enemy and closer to a friendly side of the map. So I'm totally cool with that. I think the only difference is that I probably would have said you'd have to go here. Something like that to get there. Just to make
I
it a
mean,
straight line.
we'll go there.
No, you do you. I mean, I'm just thinking, oh, wait a minute. What happened? I was just there. I just, in my mind, it's like, it needs to look something like a straight line. So it probably would have followed a path approximating something like that. Is that 6 X's? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think you went 7.
Yeah, he goes 7. His
No,
movement
no.
is 7.
6 is the retreat. It's not your movement.
Oh, okay.
Route is 4 for infantry no matter what, and 6 for cavalry no matter what.
Okay. Then yeah. Then okay. Then
Okay.
I'll be there.
All right, and so
All
then
right, so
I
rolled
failed my
20.
recall. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm
You know what? That's what keeps it interesting.
getting all the bad rolls out of the way.
So
Okay, so
since
now
you-
they're
yep.
shaken and disordered, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Quite so.
I'm glad I kept the other guy back.
Yep. That's a really good way of looking at it.
Yeah.
Okay. On
All
to
right.
the next
So
one.
then now we're here on this one. So now he's got to make a morale check. And does he? He doesn't have any pluses or minuses. He's just makes a morale
Well,
check.
yeah,
right?
actually, it's interesting because of the way you've elected to do this. As long as you're successful, the defender doesn't get the benefit of supported line if you keep peeling away the guy to his right every time.
Right. Okay. Well, go ahead and roll. David, see what you get.
Oh, that's right. It's my turn. Okay. Oh, that should be good enough.
Yep. All right. So now we take a look here. So I'm going to have this guy's got 4 for the charge, and then 1 for light cavalry, and then 3. So that's going to give him 8. And then you've got 3. So the difference is 5, correct? And then I've got 8 and you've got 5. So is it 1.5 to 1?
8 to 5 would be 1.5 to 1. Yeah.
Okay. So 1.5 to 1 with a plus 5. Here we go. So that's going to be a plus 8.
Oh, that's a special result, isn't it? Or is it has to be a 0 for the first one?
No, that has to be a 0 for the beginning.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh no, I'm sorry. This is close combat.
Yeah.
Oh no, absolutely.
That's right.
That is the 3 and a 0. That is totally a special result. Absolutely. My bad.
Oh, okay. So what is it? Where are we at?
That is.
It's
where
Tacker
is it?
loses 2 and
it's-
takes a morale check.
it's on
I
the
lose 2
basic
and take a
special
morale
results.
check. And
Oh,
officer,
okay.
If I have a leader, but I don't have a leader, so we
No
both
leader.
lose.
So really, it's just 2 increment losses to you both. We actually cross sabers. always feels more like the real melee combat when they cross sabers. And then whoever has the better effectiveness rating can make the other guy roll first for his morale check.
Okay, well, why don't you go ahead and do that, David? I've got a morale of 24, I guess. All right, so you're very happy. Let me make mine. And I'm good
You're
too.
Okay.
So now what do? We recalculate
So
everything. So
we
now I've got
recalculate everything.
6-3. So now we're on 2-1.
No, you
2 to
don't get
1.
the charge. You don't get the
But
charge.
now we're just to plain printed values for combat values.
Right.
So
So it's
you're
just a
at
+1, right?
+3 to +2, so it is just +1 to the die roll now, but it's now 2-1 odds.
Okay, here we go. So that's going to be a -1.
-1.
So it
on the
just says
2-1
morale, MM.
Okay. Now in this case, the attacker has to roll first.
All right, here we go. I'm happy.
Okay. And then the defender.
And I'm not. I got a special result.
Special result worth looking at. Or is there one? I don't think there is a special result for this. I think an M result is. I don't know why. I
Where do we find it?
shouldn't have had a
M
glass of
result,
water. I did-
morale check 14.4.
Where did that? Where did that chart go?
Morale check.
Morale check.
Okay, it's morale check G, right?
Morale check
Close.
G, and there are no special results.
Yep. So it's
So
just
morale
a,
check G. So that's just a failure.
So what happens to them now? They rout?
Lose a strength point and route.
Oh, okay. Well, that's easy. Not much left of those poor sods.
No, that's the thing about doing a special result. You lose some serious strength points in a hurry.
All right, so then this guy advances, and he's got to stop because there's
That's right.
somebody there backstopping.
And you don't even roll pursuit points in this case.
Yeah.
However, and this is an important thing, and it's easy to forget in the heat of combat. But because combat went more than one round,
Mm-hmm.
you're disordered anyway.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's always a little tricky because pursuit kind of complicates all of this. And I'm trying to remember exactly where does it say it. No, refighting combats. There we go.
Yeah, it's
At the
14.5D. Yeah,
That's
right.
exactly right. Well done. At the conclusion of the final round of a refought combat, that is to say, a
Mm-hmm.
combat that lasted 2 or more rounds after the results have been applied, but before a pursuit, any remaining non-routed cavalry not already disordered are automatically disordered.
Okay.
Already disordered units can ignore this additional disorder. This rule does not apply to the conclusion of a single round combat. In such instances, cavalry are not automatically disordered. But yeah, and it makes perfect sense, right? Obviously, you guys have been snarled around each other. Any pretense of order is long gone at this point.
Right. Okay. Cool, cool. All right, then I guess we can move on to the next one, which is here.
All right, David.
26.
And he just failed.
So he's
so
going to
he's
be what,
shaken?
shaken? Shaken but not stirred. All right. Okay, so these were some of the chaps that went 4. So you're going to get a +4 for that. They're going to get a +5 for their stats. They're going to get another +1 for light cavalry. So they got a +10 altogether. Am I doing that correctly? I think so. And then you're going to have 3, so that the net difference is 7. And I've got 8. And then if you're shaken, what are you, just worth half of your combat value?
I don't know.
What's the effect of being shaken?
The effect of being shaken is -5 to your CV.
Oh my gosh, okay.
It's dramatic. You don't want to be shaken in close combat. The first thing you're going to think to do in close combat if you're shaken is you're going to run.
Okay, so I've got a +10, and you will have a -2 net.
How did you get to 10?
Because I charged 4.
Yep.
I'm light cavalry.
Yep,
I've got
so
a
that's
leader
5.
there. I've got that there.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Sorry, I misread all that. All right, very good. So it's 10 to -2.
Right. So it's going to be
+12.
+12. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we're at 1.5 to 1 odds, I think, right?
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Oof. So that's 8 plus 12. That's going to be +4, I think, altogether. Well, if I was going to roll anything bad, I'd rather do it with the one that had the best modifier. Right?
Absolutely. I love it. It's like, the best laid plans, right?
Yep. So it's a 1D and you are 1R. Well, that's a really weird. Why did my leader initiative, why did that pop up there?
Evil spirits.
Yeah, I'm just hitting the... All right, and I'm disordered. You got a nice line of routed people back there.
Well, that's good, because you want to have a nice orderly line of routed people. Yeah.
All right, so same thing. Now we didn't have to worry about pursuit or anything like that, and I'm already disordered.
Yeah, for the same reason. Yeah.
Right.
Yep, exactly.
So, and it wasn't a refight of combat. So, all right. So now we're on to the next chap for you to make a morale check for, I guess.
All right.
So we probably should pass, right, with a 38. Oh, your leader's a -7.
So,
Is that good or bad?
no, -7 is awesome.
Oh, okay.
And in fact, that's really important because you keep succeeding in getting into his flank, you're adding 10 to every one of these die rolls.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, the first one he
important
didn't because he ended up going past my flank. But
Right.
Right. But certainly in this one, there is an unrouted unit in your flank, which makes +10 to your die roll. Now, because he's not actually facing you, he doesn't affect the combat, except for the possibility of shakening you. There, that's a word. I just made that. It's a word.
So
is
he's got a
38
morale
good
of
enough?
36. No, he's going to
Ooh,
fail.
I don't think that's good enough.
Yeah.
I think he failed. Because
Yeah.
it's 46 -7 is
Well, it's
39. I think he missed by one.
Well, if the net distance, the net difference is -3, right? He's got a +10 for being. Yeah. So he missed it by 9. I mean by 1. He's a
One.
30. Yeah, he becomes a 39.
Yep.
So he'll then be shaken.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Hits keep on hitting.
All right. So
1 to
let's
1.
take a look here. We're not going to be on 1 to
No,
1
2 to 1.
because I got 15.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's 15 to 6 is actually 2.5 to 1. Oh, they don't have
Is
a
there?
2.5 to 1.
I think there is on the fire combat table,
Yeah.
but not on close combat. All right. Now these
So
guys,
these
did they
guys went
charge
forward
4?
3. They went for. They
Okay.
were 3.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
So
they were the
that's
chaps that were
7.
over here. So they're going to have 7 altogether.
Okay. All right. And the defenders are what?
They're -5.
Plus whatever their printed value is, plus the leader. Oi.
Oh, they're only worth 1. What's Haddock worth?
Hope that leader is worth something.
Oh, he's the one -7.
No, but
No,
what's
no.
his
What's his
combat leader?
combat value?
Oh,
He's a +2.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's -2 altogether.
And I've got 7, so it's a +9 altogether for me.
9. Yes, 2 to 1 plus 9.
Okay.
Holy smokes.
Here we go. Let's see what we get. All right, so that's going to be over 10.
Yes.
So it's going to be a 3R.
I believe that.
Yep. How would you? So the only way you get a leader casualty is if you get a special result with a melee. Is that correct?
Or if you actually eliminate a unit that the leader is stacked with via close combat, that will also eliminate the leader.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, fire combat won't do it unless you get a special result. But close combat, you grind up the whole unit, and the leader's gone too.
Okay.
And yeah, I had Cumberland come within 1 Ezok of getting whacked in my Fontenoy game.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had Frederick come within 1 Ezok of getting whacked that exact same way at Malvitz.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, it's definitely the sort of thing that focuses the mind.
I'm sure. All right. We've got then the next one here. So they're going to have the -10, I guess, since I'm in their flank.
Yeah. So,
all right.
it's +10, but,
So that's going to be a
they should be
40.
fine. Unless they're really terrible, they should be fine.
Yeah, no, these were the slightly better.
Okay.
All right. So let me
it's
go ahead
1.5 to
and
1. It's 16 to 10 raw numbers.
All
And
right.
It's what, 5,
So I've
6,
got-
7, 8, 9?
Yep, so I got a +9.
9 to 3.
So it's a +6 altogether. The net.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Let's see what we get.
Oi.
So that's going to be off the chart as well. So that's going to be another 3R. So how do you divide that up? 2 on one and 1 on the other?
Yeah, they're the same size, so kind of effectively that's what you do. 2
Okay.
on one, 1 on the other.
All right, and so we just advance into that hex. All right, and then last but not least, we got these guys here, I guess.
Same story, second verse.
Make your check with a -10 or +10, however. Oh, so that's going to be bad news for them.
Yeah. Well, this one, unfortunately, is 3-1, so the odds were already pretty ugly.
All right, so I went forward 3. So that's going to be 6, 7. So I've got 7. 2's got -3.
2.
Oh, -2. Okay, so I got a +9.
9, 3-1.
3-1. Okay, here we go. So that's going to be +3 plus, what do we have all together? +9? Oh, that's going to be a surrender.
It's going to be top of the chart. Oh,
Yeah.
It's a 3-1?
Yeah, it's
So the whole
surrender.
unit just surrenders?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible.
It says S. I presume S is for
Yes,
surrender.
that is exactly what it is. It is surrender.
Yeah.
And that is in 14.7. Unit surrenders immediately and eliminated from the game regardless of the number of SPs remaining. Advance after combat is required for attacking infantry and cavalry, and the defending cavalry that had eliminated attackers in its EZOC. Defending infantry does not advance. So, yeah, so basically exactly the same thing there. And again, somebody's in your zone of control, so no pursuit.
Okay. All right, we have this one last combat over here.
Oh, right, I forgot there was one more.
Yep. So they countercharge, so they've already passed their thing.
Oh, they did. Good for them.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then, if that's the case, then there's no reason to worry about that. We just go straight to the die rolling.
So I charged forward 2.
You charged 2. Okay,
yeah.
Good. All right. So that's 7 then for you.
So no, because this is heavy cavalry.
Oh, sorry, 8.
Yeah.
Right. And he charged 1. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7. So it looks like it's +1 to you.
Right, and I think we're on 1-to-1 odds. 1-to-1 with a +1.
All right.
Here we go.
I think it's +2.
Why is that?
Oh, 3, 4, 5, 6,
'Cause you got
7. Okay, you're right. Yeah.
Well, I just rolled a 0-8.
Oh, you're right. It doesn't matter what the number was.
Doesn't matter what it was.
Nope, actually
So
not.
I lose 2 and make a morale check. You lose 1, make a morale check, and roll for your leader.
You have a leader check too.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know.
So I lose 1. All right, so.
And then roll 1 die for the leader. A 0 through 3, he's dead.
Now who makes or what?
You make the roll. I always say if you're leader, you roll.
Now I roll for the leader.
Yeah.
Increment losses are first, then the leader, and then we
morale
calculate
checks.
morale.
0 to 3. Boom.
Okay, so no effect.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So you are 24, and the Prussians are 23. It looks like, and there's no other modifiers. So I guess you need to roll first, David, by 1.
Okay, so he passes, and then I'll roll, and I pass.
Okay, so we go back for a refight. The refight now will be exactly even.
Right.
It's 1-to-1 exactly even because we're down to just printed values at this point.
Right, but it's not 1-to-1. I lost 2, so I'm now 6. I have 6 increments to his 7 increments.
1 to 1.5 even.
Yeah.
Okay, much more interesting.
All
Very
right.
good.
So here we go. Let's roll. So that's going to be a net 5. So that's
Yeah.
1D, 1R, if I'm looking at that correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, it is. David can't buy a break tonight.
Nope. It's going to be another one like last week. I see.
Happy birthday. All right. And then he's going to be disordered. Where's that? Disorder. There we go. And he
The
then
dis-
advances into that hex.
That's right. Yes.
And then we roll pursuit points,
That's
I guess.
right. Yes.
Okay, here we go. 8.
Right,
Oh, wow.
that's
So we have 4
4.
pursuit points.
But that's okay because you can only advance 1 hex before you run into somebody. So you have to
No, there's no Ezok here. He went
No,
there, right?
No, because it's not whether you're in someone's Ezok, is someone in your Ezok.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's not obvious, but that's actually the thing. Blocked retreat path is such that
I guess that makes sense. We're charging forward and we see somebody in front of us. We're not going to go running past
you're
them
not just going to go
necessarily.
running past them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. So I could advance 1, and then I would
that's
have
right.
to stop.
If you choose to, you could. Yeah. So yeah, you could. He'd lose another increment, and then you'd be plus 10 on your
Right.
recall.
Or I could just stay where I'm at.
And roll plus 5.
Yeah. I think I'll try to stay where I'm at. I think
All right.
just
Very good.
make him uncomfortable there. Here we go. All right. So we're happy.
Good enough. Okay.
Okay. All right. I flipped all of my leaders over.
Okay.
So I think,
Wow.
and then I'll just destroy all of these close combat ones.
Well done, you.
Yeah.
Boy, I gotta say, I'm not saying you did the wrong thing, David, but I don't think it turned out well. How about that?
What choice did I have?
I
Not
think
doing.
I mean it
You
was
think
gonna
I
be,
did doing the wrong thing? What wrong thing did I possibly do?
I think I would have countercharged with everybody, and yes, some of them would have failed. I mean, they would have, but I think I would have countercharged with everybody. And I'm not saying that it necessarily would have been that much prettier, but boy, once I saw him, oh my smokes! I mean, he had awfully good odds and awfully good die roll. I mean, awfully good DRMs, I guess. Um, yeah, it was going to be ugly anyway.
I don't see anywhere there where the two difference in the pluses would have
Yeah,
really made that
yeah,
much of a difference.
you might well be right. I guess the other thing that might have been interesting is um, countercharging in an unexpected way to prevent him from being able to hit all your guys. That might have been interesting.
Yeah, I did try and think of, is there a way
Yeah.
I could countercharge out there
If he started
and
at the
kind of,
south and you countercharged from somebody in the middle and met him partway out, it means that your guy in the south never gets hit because nobody can get to him. And then you got somebody who can hit his guys in the flank. I am totally backseat driving, and I don't want to sound like that guy, but I'm just
no,
throwing.
you have much more experience with this, the whole system as it is. So no, this is well taken. I'm not, you definitely have a much more experience with the system than I do. And
Right. So what you're saying is like when I was bringing this chap up,
Yeah.
you could
maybe
have had this
countercharging
guy could have countercharged,
Yes.
and then he would have been there, and then that guy couldn't have gotten
Yeah.
hit.
And now you got one guy who's not getting hit at all. And just like in La Bataille, you've got a problem that if a unit is told to charge and passes his, well, in this case, because it's bar, you have to pass a morale check, you've got to hit someone.
Yeah.
If you don't hit someone, you're shaken in disorder.
Yeah, but I
So
had enough
you can
stuff. I
actually
could have just shifted everybody up.
you
You know,
could have, but it
yeah,
depends on how many times he managed to screw you up.
yeah,
Anyway, the point is that that's the whole kind of game there, where the attacker's got the advantage of getting to decide what order he's doing it in. The defender's only reaction is to be able to decide, how do I want to try to mess with him as we go. And you're right, you may have been able to make everybody have a chance to hit home.
yeah, yeah. All right. Well, cool. Well, this
Yeah,
was
I may have. What may have happened though is that there was some of them would I may have been able to retain one or two of them that routed and
Yeah,
would be unaffected, whereas the others would be decimated or as much or more than they were. So
possibly, because you could have found yourself in a situation where some of your stacks that succeeded in countercharging are actually getting hit by two stacks of his.
right.
Right? So, yeah, I mean, in some ways, it's like, yeah, I'm making it better for some of my stacks. In some ways, I'm making it worse for some of the others. Is that better? I don't know if it is or not.
yeah, because that surrender result is nasty.
No,
That's just
that one
poof.
is especially nasty, yes.
Yeah. Wow.
And to be fair, other than that 1-9 that you rolled, Eric, I mean, the rest of the die rolls were all quite amenable to you.
Correct.
And, you know, the 1-9 that would have been absolutely a gut punch under normal circumstances was kind of like, yeah, whatever, because I got plus 12 or something, right?
Right.
Who cares? Yeah. And one special result, did we get one or did we get two?
I
Uh,
think there were two.
yeah.
I think there were two, you're right.
Right. And you need to
So,
mark this guy with a route marker, I think.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
yeah, so that's, I mean, that's the place where you get in some real challenge is when those special results start grinding your guys up.
Yeah, that's
All right.
it's basically kind of what I expected over here, though, with between the caliber of his troops versus the caliber
Wow.
of mine, and
I was not expecting it to be that bad, but yeah, when I saw your guys compared to his, yeah, that's a bad. He had the
Yeah, you don't
numbers
have a lot
that
of other
one-
options. I mean, the only other thing you could do with those Austrians is just keep pulling back, or put them, closer here, so that there's there I could only attack you from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hexes against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hexes, right? I mean, that would be the only either put your line here and then force me to attack you on a more narrow front, or you just keep giving ground and staying beyond my potential charge range. But then that opens up this whole flank on this side.
Right. I guess the other thing to think about is, and part of this is a function of when do you get formation activations, but actually marching forward and not charging, but getting so close that it makes it impossible for you to get your full charge range
Yeah.
would be another way of trying to mess with your mind, right? Because if you pull up to 2 hexes, you can op charge me if you want, and all you get is a +1.
Right.
Or you can charge me during your turn, but again, you're only going to get a +1. So
Yeah.
it's like, that would be just another way where you think, well, if the alternative is you get 4 and I get nothing, then +1 sounds a whole lot more appealing. But that's kind of the challenge of all this. And this is feeling a little bit like what I discovered in my Prussia's Glory game of Prague that I've been playing today.
Right.
Is that, I haven't played this system in a while. Boy, did I do a dumb thing for the Austrians there. And boy, did the Prussians just crush them. And wow, once you've gotten really crushed, it's hard to recover.
Yeah.
Well,
and particularly I've got, these 3 stacks that that are still fresh. They weren't disordered or nothing.
yes, and that's kind
So
of
that's
a really
particularly
big deal.
evil. Yeah.
Yeah, if you can get a unit that makes it through the combat and does not end up disordered, then that makes it really tough for the other guy. Obviously, he's got some stacks that are okay,
Right.
but they're also like already locked in your Ezox, right? So it's kind of like they're not really able to do as much as they'd like to do. I guess he's got this one up here, which could cause mischief, and well, I guess he's got a couple of them here that, I mean, that one and that one that could still cause mischief.
Right.
So it's not like there's nothing he can do, but yeah, the fact you still have three plus you had several stacks that didn't even go in, yeah, that just that makes it tough.
Okay. All right. Well, it's time for me to roll, I guess, for activation. Since all of that was just the first.
Well, it's only 9:33 Central Time. That's not bad.
Here we go. 05. Oh, something exciting for the Austrians. Free fire combat segment. Pick one command for fire combat or CC segment or close combat.
Okay.
Free combat segment.
All right, so I got to pick a command, huh?
Yep.
Where's oh, where's that guy? Oh, all right. So do I want to do him? All right. Where's saying what is I do up here? What's the? All right, where's the? Okay, +10.
Who's going to go boom boom?
That's what I'm trying to. Is it 3 increments or 4 increments of fire from a hex?
Four.
4. My, unless they're, so the Fusiliers are only ×3. Well, all right. So I'm gonna, I guess, activate whatever. command will be Stallberg here.
Kadoke?
He's got an artillery piece under there that can fire, right?
Yep.
Yeah, if it's stacked with
He's
one of
stacked
the
with
members of his command. Yeah, absolutely.
Let's shoot at that.
Okay. Yep.
So he's got 6-pounder at 3 hexes, which is times 7, so it's 14.
Okay.
He's behind a. Yeah, so it's plus
Right.
5, plus 10, plus 15.
And plus another 10
Plus 15.
for
He's in-
size. So it's plus 25 altogether.
Okay, plus 25, yep, for size, yep. So it's 1 to 1 plus 5, I guess, right?
1 to 1 plus 25.
Plus 25, excuse me. Yeah. All right, that's not good.
Uh-oh. That's either really good or really bad. I'm not sure which.
09. That is a
09
special
for
artillery
artillery
fire. Smoke and dust. For 1 hex range reroll with a -20 at plus 2 hex range fire, cancel fire.
Okay.
So I guess you can't see them.
I got a lucky break there.
There you go.
1 to 1 plus 25 is not really, well, any plus 25 is not so great. So, thank
Yeah.
goodness.
All right,
Okay.
let me go ahead and roll again, see what other excitement we get.
You're gonna get this done, brother.
72.
72.
So not enough to advance the clock, but it's another wing activation for the wild and wacky Prussians.
Yeah, let's see. So who do we still have?
All of your people. You guys,
Okay,
you haven't done
I mean-
anything? Yeah, you can do something down there.
That's
My infantry are just sitting around
pretty
waiting for
marvelous.
excitement.
I am looking at my order of battle to try to remember who's who here. Who do I have?
You've got Lestwitz, you've got Bevern, you've got Braunschweig, Heinrich.
Yeah.
They got all kinds of people.
Oh, we got people. Let me tell you. We got people. Just trying to make sure that I advance people who are in the front of matters. That is Mike November. That's part of Heinrich. Okay. Monstein, yes, there he is, right there. Okay. And that's okay. All right. Then I guess. Oh, but I haven't even done. I haven't done Kleist and Lechtwitz, have I?
Yeah, Lestwitz is here, and it looks like
Yeah.
Brandis is here, so you could get those two guys.
I don't
Doing
think
something
so. Because
exciting.
actually, I don't think he can. He can't put. They're too far apart for him to put him in command. I think.
What's his range? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think he is.
Yeah, no, you're one shy.
Yeah. Interesting. Just trying to decide. Given that we have not advanced the end turn marker, I'm not really that worried about taking a wing activation. You know what I mean?
Sure.
There's a ton of time left, so maybe does it make more sense not to worry about it and just go ahead and do just do a regular activation? Maybe that makes sense. We'll see. makes sense. Yeah, he is one hex too far away to make that work. And I'm trying to remember, I don't think regimental integrity is going to do me any good because it's not from a command leader to a command just to one of his units. And the road doesn't help me because it's not going the right way.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah. Oh well. All right. So then the question is, do I want to just go ahead and do something with this guy here? And I guess I will. Yeah, I guess I will. All right, we'll go ahead and do Kleist.
And where's he?
He's this one right here,
Oops, I didn't see that.
up north,
He's there by Kej.
right near
Okay.
Cage.
All right.
Exactly. So yeah, so we'll go ahead and do him, and I mean, I guess I'll roll to put him in command because I know the king is probably not near close enough to Leshtvitz, so we'll just go ahead and. All right, so he's not in command, which means, I mean, he certainly isn't. I don't even know why I flipped him over. That was nothing but purest optimism that even caused me to do that. That was ridiculous. So that means that we're under 7.6 C, which means no rapid march, no entering an enemy zone of control unless you begin your movement segment already adjacent to the enemy zone of control and you get sufficient units, sufficient movement points. So basically it means that that guy could advance there, but this guy couldn't, for example, advance there and so on because that's just not in the cards. So, all right, well, that's pretty telling. I will go ahead and fire because that's what we do first. So I'll fire here. That's going to be, I'm pretty sure I'm times 4, right?
Yep, your musketeers.
Right. So 4 times 4. So it's going to be 1.5 to 1. You're down to 7 increments, so there is no size change. It's just straight up 1 to 1. That isn't going to impress anyone. And then this next guy will fire. He's at 2 hex range, and so that's going to be 8 to 10. So it's going to be 1 to 1.5. Again, you're now down to 7 increments, so there's no size. So it's literally just 1.5 to 1. So I think I need an 80 or better to get anything useful. Don't get an 80, so no shooting today. I think under those circumstances, I think I will then move. Now, moving like that means that this guy can shoot at 2 hex range at him. I may come to regret this. So that's going to be what, 4 times 2? So 1 to 1.5 from this guy. This guy can fire at him as well at
Range of
whatever
3 hexes.
the 3 hex ranges. So that's going to be the times 7 again.
Plus 10 for that one.
Yeah, they're separate attacks.
Right.
They're separate opportunity fires, I guess I should say. So we'll see whether this was a
First
smart
one
idea or not.
So the first one
So
was
whichever one you want to do first.
is the First one was what, 1 to 1.5?
1 to 1.5. Yeah, that's right.
What's 1 to 3 is on. Okay, so if I do kill one, you've got 5 in there. All right. So
Yep.
all right. So all right. So from the infantry first.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Okay. And the other one's going to be 1 to 1
one would,
plus
no,
something. Not plus that much though. Okay. Interesting.
yeah.
Okay. So he'll move there. And this is where we get to the MG42 rule, right? Because now the artillery can shoot again, completely fresh, at that stack at 1 to 1, just like they hadn't just fired at somebody already.
All right.
So 1 to 1.
05. We're on the special result table.
Caisson
Artillery.
explosion, reroll, and if target or adjacent hex includes artillery, 1 SP loss to the artillery. There is no artillery, so that is meaningless. Just reroll.
Nope.
Boy, you're making this too easy on me, brother.
Hey. You know, what?
Sorry. I didn't mean to. Didn't mean to. Well, you know. Okay. So we'll go ahead and just keep pushing our luck. Well, that's one more shot you can take.
Well, that's a better hit.
That's good for 1. To the 94 at 1 to, yeah, it's still only 1 hit. All right, and a morale check because it was an even number. Did I just screw something up there? No, it's okay. All right, morale check. Apparently he's pretty enthusiastic. Good for him.
Am I looking at the right part of the chart? So it's a 94 at 1 to 1.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is it a 1DM?
It is a 1DM. I forgot it was opportunity fire. So of course there was always a D involved. So let me roll the D. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Thanks, Eric.
Hey, I'm just trying to keep everybody honest here.
Friends like you.
A 0-0. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've gone from one extreme to the next there.
So disorder check for an opportunity fire result that's type C. And 0-0 is if the unit is in an enemy zone of control, it is shaken and disordered. Otherwise, re-roll with a plus 15. So in this case, we re-roll with a plus 15. All right. False alarm.
There you go. Brought everyone's blood pressure up slightly.
Yeah, good heavens. All right, so we move those guys there, move those guys there.
Yeah.
And then I will... Whoops. Move that guy that way. That's 1. That's 2. And that's 3. And... Well, I say that. No, you couldn't see him anyway. Never mind. Okay. All right. So that's
and it's only a 3 hex range, right? For
op fire for the artillery. That's right. Yeah, 3 hex range. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, so he was 1 hex out of your
range, anyways.
Op fire range, anyway. Exactly. I don't
know.
No,
he's. I mean, you're not. He's facing this way with his guns. So if you're over here, you come up this way, he can't see you, right?
I wasn't even thinking that way. You are correct. Based on the way he's facing part of it depends on the rules about field works and what that does to your facing. But yes, I think you're quite right. I think he couldn't see him anyway, and he was out of range. I think the other thing I'm just thinking about is some games, not this one, that say that ranged units can only fire at the thing that's closest to them,
Mm-hmm.
which makes a certain amount of sense, right? If there's an enemy at one hex, what are you doing shooting at somebody three hexes away?
Right.
Right? I mean, that does kind of make a certain logical, sort of very humanoid sort of sense. All right, so that's all the movement. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and try a close combat. I mean, this may be completely foolish, but you know what? I
That's
don't care.
at this point.
It's just
That's
I
your
don't
middle
care.
name. There you go.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. So the big challenge here is that the unit on the top is half dead, so he's at +10, and Kleist will presumably negate some of that. But there's a good chance that these guys will fail their morale check like they did last time I did a morale check. So we'll see. No, they
Nope,
didn't
not
fail. They
today.
did not fail their morale check. Very disappointing, boys. Um, okay, so that's it for that. We've got got
Now he has to
those.
what? See if he can make a morale check to
Uh,
stand.
yeah, he needs to do a morale check, and then once he does the morale check, whether he does the morale check successfully or not, it doesn't matter. He's gonna stand and receive the combat, and then he do a defensive fire. The defensive fire would be his normal fire combat +20, because infantry move real slow, so it's going to basically be 1-to-1, plus 30, plus 20 for size, or plus 10 for size, plus 20 for the
Because it's opportunity fire,
defensive fire.
Fire.
defensive fire.
Because
Right.
with
Okay.
defensive fire, I'm really coming up into your face. You can do
Right.
a wait till
Whites of your
his
eyes kind of
kind of
thing.
thing. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Like their eyes.
plus
Boom.
30.
There we go.
Plus 30.
All right.
So that's 101. That's probably enough for two hits. I think 101 is. Yeah, it is. It's two hits. Yeah, this was probably not a really good idea, but oh well.
So 2 hits, D, and an M+10.
Right. And so we'll do the disorder check first, because you should do it in the order that you go. And that
And
looks.
is it still whether it's even or odd?
Only for the morale check. The disorder check happens every time, all the time.
Right, but I mean for the morale check. For
Yeah,
the,
there is no morale check in this case because you rolled a 71, but it looks like almost certainly disordered because, if memory serves, these guys aren't that good, and I don't think Kleist is going to be good enough to offset that. Um, 23 minus 5 is 18. Yeah, that's not going to be good enough. So they're now disordered, which is definitely not going to help my cause. And so let's see, we'll put a disordered marker. Where's disordered? There he is. Okay. All right. So that's not great. So let's see now. I want to make sure I'm saying this right because I don't want to tell you guys things that aren't true. If we look at combat value, combat value for the top unit, regardless of the number or types of units in the stack, line or hook, use the average CV rounded of units that contribute the top 4 non-artillery SPs for each hex in the line hook. Okay, I thought I remembered something like that. Okay, so this is a strange, ironic thing that in some ways it wasn't all bad that some of those units from some of those guys from the half dead outfit got wiped out.
Right.
Let me explain why. So I'm going to turn all these units over. So we're going to see that the unit on top is +4.
Right.
because he was half dead, he's at -2 to his +4.
Right.
So really, it's just +2. But but really, you need to take the value for the top four
Increments.
increments. Well, he's now only one of the top four increments. So
Right.
the fact that he's down to 2 means actually less, ironically,
Right.
because there are fresher troops filling the space behind him.
Right.
So I've got 3 of them at +3, one of them at +2. That's going to average back to 3.
Right.
All right. So that's 3.
And then,
Kleist is another 3.
okay.
That's actually 6. But importantly, and this is the part where the disorder really screws me up, is that I've got a 7 and a 1. I've got 8 total increments, but that's only 4 if they're disordered.
Right. So you're now at 1 to 2.
It's now 1 to 2 odds because he's got, 7, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's 1 to 2 odds. The good news is I got +6,
Right.
and he's got +3.
+3
right?
looks like. So it's 1 to 2 with a +3.
1 to 2 +3. So the question is, can I roll like Eric? That's really the
Well,
question. We shall see.
See
I
if,
have,
if the vassal
my-
gods smile upon you, Michael.
I have my doubts.
Oh, that's not bad. So
Close
it's a
enough, I
+5
guess.
altogether.
Yeah, should be +5 at 1 to 1, which is just enough.
So that is, well, we're not at 1 to 1. We're at 1 to 2.
Oh,
So it's an M and an M.
oh, it's
right?
1 to 1.5.
Oh, 1 to 1. Okay.
No.
No, because you've got 4 to his 7.
7. That's 1
Oh,
to
I'm
2.
sorry. It is 1 to 2. Yes,
Yeah.
you're quite right. Okay, so 5. So it's MM. All right.
M,
So
M,
then
roll
I
check.
will roll my M because I'm the attacker, so I need to roll first.
All right,
That's
so it
gonna
looks like
be-
you pass.
It's going to be enough. And the defender rolls, and he is certainly all right too. The big difference here is that, of course, there are no real changes. It's not like cavalry,
Right.
Right?
and it's not like either of us attacked on the flank, so it's literally just the exact same combat over again.
Okay.
Kind of weird, but there it is. So 1 to 2 +3, basically.
Uh-oh.
That's 1 to 2 going to be a
It's gonna
0
be a
now?
0. So it's 1R, 1D.
Okay. All right.
So the
1
top unit
R.
is... Oh, the top unit still stays there. You take the loss on them.
The big,
bottom
the
guys.
big unit
Whoever's got
takes the
more-
loss.
Whoever's
That's
got
right.
more increments. Okay.
That's right. Yeah. And so let's see. I'm gonna. Whoops. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. All right. Now we'll flip him over. And I think that's it.
All right. It's-
Pretty good times.
Time for David to roll for an activation.
All right.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Hey, you get to go, David.
Good one. All right. What the heck am I going to do?
right. Where do you want to put out your fires, David?
That's well. Let's. I don't know. I'm going to activate Argentile.
Aha!
Argentile. Oh, the
Down
guy
there by
who's
the
routing.
pond.
Okay.
Yep. Let's see if he's in command. 3.
Survey says.
Where is he? Where's the leader? There he is. No, he's not in command. Which means
Doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot to the cavalry, does it? They can still move. They just can't do a double march, right? Or a quick march or something.
The only trick is that units that are in the command radius of their commander are limited to that, right? That they during the movement segment they can't rapid march. During the movement segment they can't enter an enemy zone of control unless they're immediately adjacent. The real trick is in a case like this where the leader's routed away is are any of his units out of command? Because then they can't initiate close combat at all.
Yeah, it looks like they're
Case,
all there, right? Yeah,
I
because
think
he's got
they
a
are
range of
still in
5.
command.
Yeah.
right.
Exactly. But
Right.
that would be the thing to worry about is are their guys actually out of command? And then they really would be kind of stuck. But otherwise, they should be fine. The leader has to route with the unit if they stay with the unit, but they're not required to stay with the unit. So if the leader himself wanted to leave that stack, he's welcome to until the rally phase, because if in the rally phase those guys continue routing, then the leader has to go with them.
Even if he can move out right now.
Yeah.
He can move out right now if he wants to, no problem. He can just say, look, I got people I need to take care of. You guys figure it out. Yeah, there's no shortage of targets for that guy. Including a lot of guys who can't react.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. What's the best way for me to handle that?
Yeah, because all these disordered guys are just kind of stuck.
Oh, they can't opportunity charge?
I'm double checking, but I don't believe they can.
I
No,
don't believe they can either.
I'm looking for up charge. Disordered unit may only op charge when the triggering unit is in one of its front hexes, which is to say that you can't op charge at something 2 hexes away. It has to be something that's adjacent.
Adjacent to you. Okay,
Right.
good to know.
Yeah, that's one of the things about cavalry. Most of the time ending up disordered, meaning that they are vulnerable.
Right. Can you reaction charge then?
Mm-mm.
Oh, you can't. Oh, okay.
No, you are trying to get reorganized and can't react to anything that's happening around you.
And can they change their
Can they do a defender reaction to change their facing? I'm gonna get reacting unit or stack must not be routed or disordered and not in an EZOC. So no. And basically, they are completely frozen until they get undisordered.
And is there any penalty for me moving through one of my own units that is?
Partially, it's just a function of facing. If you're both facing the same way and you're the same kind of unit and you're not going to exceed stacking, then there's no downside. You would have to do a pass through if you're not the same facing at the time you're moving through. Not sure you have in mind.
I was just didn't know if I could go through this one here.
Oh, uh,
Well, they're facing a different direction, right?
That's
yeah,
that answered my question.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There'd be a disorder check for sure in that case.
And disorder rounds up,
I'm sorry, disorder rounds up.
or calculating SP.
Oh, if you are disordered and you have your SPs halved, does it round up? Yes.
Yes, that's I
Yes,
thought it
for close combat purposes, yes. Now, I think the only problem I have with this hex, I don't know what you've got in mind, but at the end of your movement, you have to be in the same facing as the unit that's already present. You could move through that hex without having the same facing, but you have to leave the hex or adopt its facing.
right. But I'd have to do a check because even going through it, right?
Well, if you were not in the same orientation as it, then you would have to do a check. Yes.
So you could move in, face to the east, and then move out, and there wouldn't be an issue.
Oh yeah, there would.
Oh, there would. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because you moved in and changed facing in the same hex. I mean, In other words, if there were two lines of infantry, as an example, and one passes straight through the other and advances through it, not a problem.
Right.
If one comes in from the flank of the other and moves through, that's a problem.
Right.
If you move in and change facing and then move out, that's a problem. You need to at all times conform to the other unit or a pass-through event has happened.
Okay.
Let's see what really makes sense here. It's kind of tough. Obviously, charging these guys up here is kind of entertaining because they're at half strength. They can't react. Unfortunately, it's still going to be 12 to 7 if you attacked them together. What would that be?
Yeah,
That's
It's 1.5 to 1.
1.5 to 1. Yep.
That's not terrible. Plus, you've got the benefit of having charged 3 hexes and they can't reaction. So that's, maybe not bad. This guy back here is, he's a dead man walking if he's not careful, right? Because, he's only got 5 increments and he's already halved this guy here. So he would have trouble. And you did AG, right? So really, this is the only stack you've got?
No, he's got this too.
that's a stack too. Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I
So
didn't
he's
realize
got-
he was AG.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. Yeah. Well, so I'm not telling you what to do,
Yeah, I know.
but there's nothing to say that you couldn't move there, turn, and charge that guy in the rear.
Well, didn't you just say though, if he was disordered, he can opportunity charge?
No,
into the
if he's
extra front.
disordered, he can't, is what I'm saying.
Oh, I
No,
thought you said I could if he was adjacent to me.
yes.
Oh, you are quite right. Thank you. You're absolutely right. Ooh, yeah. So that makes it more complicated. Then what would you have to do? You'd have to go one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, and then you'd just be attacking him in the rear, and you would have had to move eight. Yeah, that's pretty ugly.
And then you'd have two
Well,
disorder checks, right?
okay. I mean,
Yeah.
I am looking at options here.
Yep. And so am I. That's what I'm
If
trying to
if
calculate here. So,
this guy, no, that doesn't work either. No, because you're trying to move into a charge position, not actually charging. Yeah, so this guy is kind of a
That's why I left him there.
no. It's kind of good. He's kind of a threat in being at least a little bit. That's really awkward. Well, you know what? I mean, I don't know what the answer is, but
yep.
these guys knocking these two units out, this guy crushing that unit, you know, that that feels like you're getting something done. That may not be the best use of your time, but on the other hand, that's what occurs to me.
Yeah, I don't know if I would do both of the. I'm. Yeah, I could do. See, the reason I was asking if I could go through here was without was I was actually thinking come down and go like this, turn, and then come and hit this guy.
Yeah, yeah, you'd just be
Right.
taking a chance at disorder.
Right. And knowing these guys, yeah,
A
I'll
man
be
with such confidence in his troops. Robert E. Lee, you're not, sir.
I'll be lucky if they actually initiate their charge. So that's
Oops.
part of it there.
All right, pardon me.
So
I'm gonna go run down. I need to find my. Oh no no no. Sorry, never mind. Insulin pen was right here the whole time.
So one,
All righty.
two.
What do you think, David?
4, 5, six.
So
All
one,
right.
two, three, 4, 5, 6. Okay.
Seems legit.
Yep.
Let's see. Do I want to do? Hell yeah. Let's do
There we go.
1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Oh, and this guy. 1. So
Join the club.
All right. I'm going to declare 2 charges. Roll for the top stack here. Going in. Roll for this stack here. They're going. Let's see, and they're going in.
All right.
All right.
Ready
So we'll do this one first. So
Okay, and I can't do anything about it other than just stand and fight, right?
Yep, that is a fact.
So you do a
So
round
now
check,
you,
right?
well, you move all your other charges, right?
Nope.
Yeah, you do all the
Oh.
charge movement
move.
happens first, and then individual combats get
Okay, now.
resolved.
All right. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So now I make a morale check. Is that correct?
That's right. Whichever
Okay.
one he decides to do first, I assume
We're
you're
doing
doing
this
the
one,
one.
right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Here we go.
Yep.
So I think I
And
pass.
you're at +5 for being disordered. So yep.
Yeah, I'm
Yep.
fine.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So I've got 5 increments. Have because I'm disordered, so that's going to be 3.
3. That's right. Yep.
And he's got 8, so that's going to be 2 to 1. I've got a +4, +2 for being heavy cavalry. Is that correct?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so I got a
that's-
+6,
All right.
and he's
And
going to
the
have.
disorder? The disorder doesn't change. Okay.
Doesn't change the CV. It changes your SPs. It doesn't
Right.
change your combat value, though.
Right. Okay. So I'm 3 +1 +2 +2.
So you're 8 to my 6. So you're +2.
2 to 1 +2.
2 to 1 +2. All right. All right. That seems legit.
44 becomes a 2 at 2 to 1. That is 1D, 1R. If I'm looking at the right thing.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. All right. Oh, how did that get? Oh, it increased everything. Like, that's not
yeah.
that
You have
big.
the whole stack selected. Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right, and I have to go back 6, correct? 1, 2, 3,
That's right.
4, 5, 6. Okay.
All right. And I've got to move at least 1 into the front. Now, I can face that way, correct?
Yes. Either one is an acceptable facing. Yep.
And then I have to determine whether I want to. Okay. So I got to roll for pursuit points, right?
Yep. And there have since you're disordered.
And
So
I
what
did
is
none.
0? None?
Okay. Now this is a chart we don't see very often.
Is this
but
a
it's well
special
worth-
results?
There is a special result. Let me see if I can find the chart here.
Pursuit. Oh, yeah. Here we go. There it is.
Yeah.
Bottom of the special results chart.
That's right.
0. Okay. So now I roll again, right?
Yep. Exactly.
And figures.
A 6. Out of control. Reroll and add +5 to the PP. No recall is possible.
Okay. So we roll another and add 5 to whatever, and you will use all those points.
I roll again 1 die. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
So you've got
it's-
11.
So it's 11.
Is that halved or is that?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Since you're disordered, yes, I suppose it is. So it's 6. But you can't roll to recall.
Yep. So
Right.
you have to use them
So
all.
Let's make sure we've got this figured out.
1, 2, 3.
How that one is written. Pursuit special results. Out of control. No voluntary recall is allowed for the length of the pursuit if the unit is disordered half the pursuit points rounded. So again, six.
Look at that.
Now,
Yeah.
the thing is, though, I think you're going to use one, two, three, and have to stop.
Yeah, because he'll be in the he'll have a face towards me there.
Exactly. So at
So if
that
I had
point,
actually turned the other way, it wouldn't. I could have kept going. All right.
Yeah.
oh, ironically, yes.
Ironically, yes. All right. So I
Yes.
stop there.
So you lose three more increments on that unit back there.
Right.
And then the question is, since
Since he can't recall.
no voluntary recall is allowed, but at this point, it's not a question of voluntary anymore. At this point, um, you've ended pursuit movement because of a blocked retreat path. I'm looking. A non-routed enemy unit is in the cavalry ZOC. If a blocked retreat path ends pursuit movement and no recall has been attempted, a recall disorder check is made. Any unused pursuit points may be used for free movement. Otherwise, the procedure goes to a pursuit completion step. So yeah. So you're not allowed to voluntarily recall, but now you have to roll a recall
Right.
at the end. And of course, in this case, you've used 3 pursuit points.
Oh, it failed.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah, 'cause it
they're
was a
going to
plus 20.
be shaken and disordered.
So now you're shaken and disordered. Well, even when you win, you lose, David.
Yep.
God dang.
Well, on the bright side, there's not much left of that other unit to come in.
No, you did just pretty well vaporize
Yeah,
that unit.
yeah.
That's for sure. He ain't coming back.
Well, he will. Well, let's just stack him
All
on the
right.
bottom of
So
somebody.
now the other one here. So
Now the other one, right? And the other one, we got a defender morale
Okay, so
check
let me
with a-
make my check over here. 65. So I'm
Okay.
happy.
All right. So,
So
it's
I've got, I'm halved. So you got
12 to
12.
4,
So you
so
got
it's
4 to 1?
3 to 1.
3 to
12
1.
to 12 to 4 is 3 to 1.
Okay.
Yeah, and
no,
he's got.
he's only 3.
Oh, I'm sorry, because he's already lost one. You're quite right.
Yeah.
So he's a 3. Yes. So it is 4 to 1.
Yeah, I was right the first time.
No, you were right the first time. Indeed, you were.
Okay, so it's 4 to 1, and I've got
6.
plus 6.
And he's got 6 plus his charge range, so he's got 9. So it's plus 3 to him at 4 to 1.
Mm-hmm. So this is where we need a wild roll there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. 4 to 1. Okay.
So that's going to be
Plus
a
1?
minus 1?
No, it'd be plus 1.
Plus 1. So
He
it's
was at
just
plus
a
3,
1
right?
at 4 to 1. So it's a 1d2r.
Yeah, that's the
Yep.
thing about 4 to 1. I mean,
Okay.
the good news is you didn't get completely vaporized. The bad news is you still lost.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can live with that.
You got to take what you can.
Okay. All right, and I go back 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay. And the attackers have taken 1 and they're disordered, right?
Correct.
Okay. All right. And then at least one of them needs to advance into the hex.
All right.
All right. And there is no pursuit because, well,
Yeah, because
can't.
I'm in his way there slightly.
Right.
And that's that turn.
And that is that. All right. And and you have flipped the commander over, so that is the end of that. So I think it's my initiative roll. Am I right?
That's correct. We've finally come full circle.
Wow, it's only taken
2.5 hours.
Not bad, and that
That's
is
a tie.
tie.
But we
But it
get to move
does.
the clock. Yeah.
It does advance the end turn marker. Holy smokes! Trying again, this time with feeling.
Oh my gosh, another special result. So a 0-3
0-3.
command confusion. Other
Uh-oh.
player picks one of your commands, which may be finished. Initiative required. So we would pick one of his commands.
We would pick one of his commands, which would be finished. However, if he makes an initiative roll, then nothing happens.
Oh, okay, interesting.
So clearly, it's in our interest. You kind of want to pick on the commanders that you think are going to roll badly, right?
Right.
Or just commanders that are somewhere important, and you'd like to just make them stop.
Right.
So, like in my little corner of the world, making what? Who? Where is he? Where's Bede?
He's dead. He got shot.
Oh, well, you can't make him stop. Now, he'd already activated that.
That's correct, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, that would be, you could do Stahlberg, I suppose. I mean, that would be another one of just kind of preventing him from doing anything. But the truth is really his guys that are going to do anything were Veeds. So I'm not sure if Stahlberg really matters.
So what we could do is,
cavalry
he's got some cavalry. This guy here hasn't activated Spada. And so
Okay.
we could spoil Spada.
Yeah. The only
Or
potential downside there is that the cavalry units are usually better initiative, but it seems like his aren't so great.
yeah, his heavy cavalry leaders were less than stellar.
The other one would be Hohenzollern up north of the creek,
Oh yeah, yeah.
just to prevent him from turning and reacting to anything. So, to me, I try to be honorable and not look at enemy commanders for that. I just pick one and go.
Right.
But, I think there'd be a lot of value to one of those. I'm not that worried about any of the ones facing me.
Right.
That would be, I'd be my choice, one of those. If I was on your side. So.
Yeah. Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think probably Spada's in more. Let's see. They can't charge if they're out of command. So these two guys are out of command. This guy's in command. This guy's shaken. He can't do anything.
They can't initiate close combat if they're out of command.
So he's got two that could do stuff, and this guy's got a bunch more, but I don't know what he could do. But I guess he could do something.
He would have to get repositioned.
Yeah.
But obviously, the longer you can keep him out of the way, the better, right?
Okay.
So
let's go ahead and let's see if we can mess with Hohenzollern
right.
there.
So
rolling,
and really, all this is. That looks like he
well,
has
let's take a look and see.
Ignored.
Oh, just barely.
Just barely. Right.
Wow. Okay. So in that case, the special event is no effect.
Okay. So go ahead and roll again, Michael.
All right. This time with feeling.
Oh.
That's
a
going to be a
wing
wing for the
activation
bad
for them.
guys. Yeah.
A wing and a prayer.
Called you bad guys. Tell you what, cheeky.
Yeah, this whole thing with the cavalry reminds me of did you ever play Richthofen's War?
Certainly did.
Where you got
Absolutely.
just fighters all around everywhere, and it's just a complete disaster everywhere. Stuff is flying, stuff's in flames. This is
That's
very much
cool,
like a First World War kind of
man. Yeah,
dogfight
it
out
kind of
here.
is
Yeah,
actually. Boy, I had that game a million years ago.
yeah. I still have a copy of it floating around somewhere, I think.
I don't think I do. I'm trying to figure out why I don't because I feel like it should have been in Dad's attic for all these years, but I don't know. Maybe I sold it? I don't know.
Yeah, because that didn't have hexes. That had, I think, squares, as I recall.
No,
Or did it have
I
hexes?
think it was hexes. It really
Okay.
was. It was
It was
just
Tactics 2 had squares.
Yeah.
Tactics
Yeah,
2 had squares,
there you
very
go.
much so.
I knew
I'm
one of
thinking
those old ones did.
the only trick to Richthofen's war is that the third dimension you had to keep track of on paper.
Oh, we didn't bother with that.
Oh, never mind. Sorry. Oops.
Yeah, we just flew around shooting at each other, just having a grand
Okay.
time.
Altitudes
I
for
think that was one of the first war games I had.
okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Rules?
Alti-
We don't need rules.
altitudes for wimps.
Exactly.
All right. Let's see. I guess we'll do Spada. Is that his name? Yeah,
Yep.
Spada. All right. Let's see. It's not command, but it's, I don't know what that means.
You mean he's out of command?
He's out of command. Yes.
Yeah. I mean that just means no rapid march, really. Otherwise, everything's pretty normal. His units, which are out of command from him, of course, it's still a big deal too because they they're just out of command, period, and can't um, engage in close combat.
The ones that are what's with the
So,
ones that are in already in a zone of control there?
so the okay. Well, let's just double check. Um, so they are an out of command combat unit because they are out of command of their leader, part of a command, but out of the command leader's line of communication is penalized as follows: movement allowance is halved. 7.6 movement restrictions apply, meaning um, no rapid march and the whole EZOC thing. Can't initiate close combat in the friendly close combat segment. It can, however, op charge or countercharge if circumstances arise for it. Um, so, because they're in 7.6 C restrictions, it means that they can actually move out of an enemy zone of control if they're in one. All they can do is exit one hex out of the EZOC. Of course, this could very well provoke countercharge, an opportunity charge. So whether or not you want to is another matter. So you could either make a facing change if you're in an EZOC, or you can exit the EZOC, but you can't do both. And that would be the only movement they're able to do. And they can't initiate a close combat. They're kind of stuck. Who is this guy?
He's one of
He's part of
Hohenlohe's.
Hohenzollern's.
Oh, he is.
Yeah,
Oh, that's why I didn't recognize him. Okay.
he's got a sharp looking uniform. He looks
Oh,
almost
very nice.
Prussian.
Well, that's part of why I was confused. I'm
Yeah,
like, who is this?
he's got to be a dragoon or something, right?
I would think so.
Yeah,
It
he's a
says
dragoon. Yeah,
Borporati's Dragoons. Yeah.
yeah. So the dragoons don't have the breastplates.
No.
All right, what excitement do you have planned,
All right,
David?
so this guy's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Kiddo.
And this guy's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I don't want to go that far. Excuse me. So,
I think he was here, wasn't he?
No. No, he wasn't. I think he is where he was.
that's all right. He's just going to there like that.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yep. Makes sense.
All right. Shoot. Shaken ones can move, right?
Shaken ones can move, but cause the. Oh, did you roll for disorder? Well, actually, you don't need to roll for disorder because you're stacked with the leader, so they're automatically relieved of the disorder.
Yep. Wait.
So they're just shaken, which has no effect on movement.
Go.
So they can move the full 6. They just can't charge.
And let's see.
And of course, now that the leader is finished with his duty of relieving the disorder, he's welcome to go where he wants.
And so, yeah, we might as well let's. Yeah, let's take these guys. Now, the other ones, can they move into an Ezox?
I'm sorry, which ones?
They, like
Oh,
either of these, could they move into an Ezox?
yeah, because they're in control. Um, and I don't believe Shaken prevents you from moving into an Ezok. It prevents you from charging.
Right.
Just gonna double check. I don't think Shaken does that. Shaken effects move and fire normally. Can make facing and formation reactions. Cannot initiate close combat, countercharge, pursuit, opportunity charge. Yeah, there's nothing to say they couldn't move into an enemy zone of control. They just couldn't do anything when they get there.
So, like, I could move that into there.
Yep.
And that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Interesting. If you don't mind telling me, what are you thinking there?
I'm just kind of pinning him so he's makes it real hard for him to continue to do anything else he wants to do. And
Okay.
while I'm recovering those units, they're not
Okay.
going to do me much good anywhere else that I'm aware of.
I had a different idea. I'm not telling you it's better, and you're welcome to do whatever the heck you want. But since you didn't ask, I'm going to tell you what I think.
Yeah. I please.
If you thought that you were going to charge with these guys and hopefully bum rush these guys out of the way, and just imagining that might be what you're thinking, and you move this shaken unit up right here facing east, if either of these guys actually manages to push off your guys, they won't be able to pursue because this guy will be sitting right in their face. I mean, yeah, he's shaken. He's no good to attack, but he still exerts a zone of control. So he would prevent any pursuit. And of course, at the end of the turn, he's going to rally anyway.
Potentially.
So I'm not saying it's a better idea. I'm not saying it's a worse idea. I'm saying it's another idea.
All right. Are you ready to roll for your close combats, David?
You ready to rumble?
Yeah. So you're saying, all right. So you're saying here. So if potential combats here.
Or with the one you're initiating. I mean, say this one goes bad, right? I still pursue you, right?
Oh, well,
And
What
there,
I was really thinking of was in terms of just kind of protecting those next units, the ones that are further along.
these guys here, you mean?
Yeah, if
Yeah.
if those guys get attacked during a subsequent turn, that you'd have somebody in a position to be able to help protect them, but keeping them from getting pursued. That's all I was after. It wasn't going to do anything for the attacks you were doing straight away. Although I guess it might act. No, because actually it might. It could protect the guy you've got. Assuming again that this guy is going to do this, if he lost for some reason, and then you retreat away in a direction that made this guy come forward. Actually, if you retreat north and make this guy face north, he'd have to stop. He wouldn't be able to pursue because there's a guy in his face. That's
Right.
all.
okay. All right. Well,
Best idea ever? Beats
let,
me.
let's roll that stack and see if they're going to go in, and they're going in. This stack, and we'll see if they're going in, and they're going in.
Everybody's going in. It's like an Oprah show.
What? Okay, wait a minute. So I can't. I can't bring this guy to here.
Can't bring whom to where.
Yeah, you could put him there.
Why don't? I'm
Why wouldn't?
confused.
Why wouldn't you? You're still in my facing if this is the person you're attacking, right?
Right.
Yeah. So he just goes 1, 2, and he's there, and then this guy goes 1, 2, 3, and he's there, right?
Yeah, that was my thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do that. Sure.
Okay. All right, so I was having a little brain fart there. I was thinking that all of a sudden I had to go in that straight line, like.
Oh gosh, no. I don't know what rules you were thinking about, but not the ones we're playing.
All right. So I presume that he's the only person you're hitting, so he is your target.
Seems like
Yeah.
we can do individual combat
Yeah,
designation now.
that's pretty
Yeah.
easy. So I make my morale check,
Right.
and I pass.
You pass, indeed. So the attackers are coming in with 13 strength points against your 3. Because you're halved for disorder, so that's 4-1. And what do you got? You got 5 as your
I got
printed,
yeah. So my it's gonna be 5.
3 and 2, so it's
Yep.
5. So that's 7 altogether. And the attackers, now one of them
One of them went
advanced
2, and one of them went 3. So how do you handle that?
Oh no, they count individually and then you
Oh.
average them.
Oh, okay.
So one of them was 4 plus 2, that's 6 plus 3 is 9, and the other one is 5 plus 2 is 7 plus 2 is 9. So they're both 9 anyway.
Oh, okay.
right? They're 9, and you're
And I am
7.
7. So
So
it's
it's
just a
4 to 1 plus 2. I think that's what I got.
Yep.
4 to 1
sounds
plus 2.
about right.
All right, let's see what we got now.
Oh,
Oh, a
boy.
special result.
Oh, boy.
Figures.
0, 2.
And, oh, but that's not a good one for the defender.
Nope. 2 in for me.
So, and then I lose 3, make a morale check, and possibly have a leader casualty. All right,
Yeah,
so let's take my
first things
hits.
first, take your 3, yep,
Okay.
and then roll to see how it happens to your leader.
Uh-oh, he's dead.
Sayonara!
All right.
Well, it
So,
wouldn't be Prague if somebody didn't get whacked.
yeah, and this time instead of it being Winterfeld, it's some other bonehead. All right.
Wasn't it Schwerin who died at this? Wasn't that who it
Yeah,
was?
well, Winterfeld did, and I think I definitely know that Winterfeld did. I can't remember
Oh, wow,
Schwerin
that's interesting,
bought
because
the
I was
farm or
sure
not.
Schwerin did, so maybe, wow, it may have been really bad. Okay, the 2 increment losses, yep. Okay. All right, so now let's see. So that means you're half dead,
Yep.
Eric. So you're now plus 15. So you're 37, your stack.
Okay.
37, right? The that stack, the northern Austrian stack is 18. The southern stack is half dead, right?
Yep.
So that's 32. I'm sorry, 31. Sorry, 31. So 31 is the highest one. So he would need to roll first.
Who is he?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
The stack that is 31,
Okay.
because he's half dead. So
Why is he higher than his stack? His stack is half dead. Mine's half
I'm
dead.
sorry,
Mine's
he's 37.
21.
I don't know. I got confused.
Yeah.
My bad. 37 is the highest one. Yes.
Okay. So here we go. 08. Special roll, or is it a 08?
I don't know that it is. I always have to think about it for too long.
Is this a
because
morale
it's
check?
It's a
or
morale check, so it's a G.
So it says no special results.
Yeah.
So that's a fail.
That
Okay.
is just a fail.
All right. And
and,
then does he roll, or?
He doesn't have to, because you already
Oh, okay.
disappeared.
All right.
You lose one and you're out.
Yep.
That's right. Lose another one en route. So, boy, we definitely crossed some sabers there.
All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
All right. At least one of the attacking units needs to move in and adopt the facing to go pursue.
And he won't be moving anywhere because he's right. All right. So, and if I move both, I can adopt just that facing that would pursue, right? But so, I think I will move both in here. And that would be the end of pursuit.
Oh yeah, because there's
Yeah.
an enemy unit
You
right
got
there.
somebody in
Yeah.
your face.
So yeah, you're going nowhere.
Okay. I think that's the end of that.
All right. That showed them. But it certainly showed, what's his name? Shawnock or whatever his name
Yeah, he was the wing leader for that heavy cavalry.
Oh, yes, he was. You're right. I remember seeing him on the order of battle. Oops.
Yep.
Oh, well, I'm sure that we'll, you know.
Well, I'm sure we'll find a reasonably fantastic substitute for him.
I'd say we do a requiem mass for him, except we're Protestants, so I don't even know that we're going to do that. So
There you
I'm not
go.
really sure what to do.
All right, and gentlemen, we are bumping up on 3 hours of
of
Death and
comedy
destruction. Yeah.
Comedy gold is right. I was trying to
Comedy
think of what
gold.
the correct expression was, but you hit it on the head.
I, that feels pretty good. I mean, it may not be right, but it feels pretty. We have managed to move the end turn marker down one space, boys.
I know.
Um, it it does not get much better than this, except that I think we're very rapidly running out of commands that are going to engage in combat. So I think actually next week we could blast through all of the rest of the turn.
Yeah, because I've only got, I think, my one heavy cavalry
You still
here
have
that's
one?
still. Yep, these guys haven't done anything yet.
Oh my gosh, I
Um,
didn't realize that.
yeah,
Okay.
and let's see
Who
who
hasn't?
else. These
Uh,
guys. Crunch now, whatever his name is.
Krakow.
Krakow. He hasn't done his activation yet.
I don't know why that surprises me, but I guess okay, sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, most of the rest of my
And they,
units
the rest of the
are,
infantry and all that stuff
are
hasn't
just
done anything.
marching, so that doesn't take that long. So,
Yep.
as improbable as it seems, given current circumstances, I still think we can get through it next time.
Yep.
Now, next time is Father's Day,
Yes. So
but
it is possible that because I'm 2 or 3 hours ahead of you guys, I will be having dinner.
right,
And so if that is the case, then I will not be able to get back in time because if I can get back to dinner or back from dinner, it'll be like 8 o'clock Pacific time, which is 10 o'clock in your part of the world, and
Oh.
1 o'clock in the morning,
Oh.
and or midnight or
Yeah.
whatever.
that might be late.
Yeah.
So, do we want to just call it off for right now and just say
Well,
Happy
I
Father's
will.
Day?
I will let you know
Okay.
what my circumstances are because my children were texting me
Hmm.
earlier while we were playing to like,
Okay.
what's going on, Dad? Blah blah blah. And so
Yeah.
I will find out here in the next few
Okay.
days, and then I'll
All
just
good.
let you know one way or the other.
Okay, all good. My wife agreed to go out for drinks with a friend before she realized it was Father's Day. Sure, whatever. So I'm good either way. But by all means, if you've got a thing with your kids, and if your kids actually have the thoughtfulness to reach out to you about it, well then, by golly, I don't want to miss out on that. So
All right.
Yeah, that's well.
Now
They still live at home and want money to buy petrol and all that good stuff. So
that is actually fairly important.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
For me,
If
I
you
really
wanna go-
doubt if my kids are going to fly into just for that. But so.
you suspect otherwise, do you?
There you go.
All right. You want to shut down the
Yep.